So I'm a climate scientist and I'm an uncertainty analyst. So I did a lot of statistics for my PhD, and my role is to try to understand the climate models that we run at the Hadley Centre, to understand how they relate to reality, so to the real climate system, where they might be slightly different and where we can improve them. And then to try to work out basically how likely various futures are. So if we put carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, what will that do to the climate system? What's the most likely outcome? What are the perhaps the less likely but more damaging outcomes that might happen if we alter the atmosphere, alter the biosphere, and change the planet? So a lot of my work is doing statistics and looking at the plausible futures, if you like, that we see in our simulations of the climate system, and a lot of computer coding, and then writing that up in papers and trying to use, I guess, social media and other media forms to get that message out to people, and also informing our government customers and other customers about plausible future climate change. So I wish people would understand that climate change is real and it's happening, that it's caused by humans, and finally, I guess most importantly, is that we can do something about it, because I think it will be damaging. So the choices that we make and have made will affect the Earth system. You know, it feels huge, the Earth system. The oceans are big, the atmosphere is big, the forests and the ice are big, but we're having a really big impact on all of these systems. And I really would love people to engage with scientists and learn about the things that they care about. So, and how that climate change might impact on the things they care about. That's what I'd really like people to do. So if they have a local forest that they like to go and walk in, as we like to walk in the weekends, if they go and learn what climate change would do to that forest, and they'll get a much clearer idea of how climate change might impact them and the people they care about, and the things that they care about, whether it's wildlife or the ecosystems, or things they like to do, sports they like to do. So these things will impact them and the people they love. So I'm out there on Twitter, for example, talking to people all the time, trying to engage people in learning about climate change, and I really hope that people could do that and make it a less confrontational environment to learn about climate change. It's not about whether it's happening or whether it's not. It's about, how is climate change going to affect the things that you love? I think the Met Office is a good employer in that I get to work part-time. I take a Thursday off at the moment, and I balance my working life with looking after my kids, which is great. And also I have a Friday at the university as well. So I work at the University of Exeter at the Global Systems Institute too. So that gives me a couple of employers with some different focuses, which is great. And it gives me time during my day off and at the weekend to take time off, to be in the outdoors, to climb and to kayak and to enjoy lovely Devon, because the Met Office is set in Devon. So I think it's a really nice way of balancing a career, which is, it can be quite intense as a climate scientist sometimes, and living the good life in lovely Devon. So I definitely recommend that to other people. So this is a fun one. So yes, I definitely have made changes in my life, but I'd say perhaps the biggest changes I've made, or we've made as a family, have been since I had kids. So I've got a 5-year-old, or a 4.5-year-old, and a 6-month-old, and I guess my work as a climate scientist is informing what their future will be. So it's kind of strange. When I started out 15 years ago, I wasn't really thinking along these lines, but a lot of the scenarios, a lot of the traditionally climate scientists have projected what will happen to the climate out to about 2100. When I started work as a climate scientist, that was far off in the distant future. And now I realise that my daughter, who's 6 months old, could well be alive in 2100. She will be impacted by the changes that are happening to the climate system in that time. So that really brings it home. So it's not so much my climate science work, it's the family which has changed my thinking. So yeah, I've changed a lot in terms of trying to be more analytical about the best that we can do, what I can do in my life that will have the biggest impact for my family and for the people I love. And I guess and doing climate science and carrying on doing climate science, I think, is one of those things, quite apart from the things that we do to reduce carbon, like cycling in every day or flying less, or that kind of thing. So I think those things are important, but I think really analysing where you can make the biggest difference is something that I've tried to do.